Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that physical cash is no longer the primary way people exchange money. No wallets filled with notes, no coins jingling in your pocket, just a fully digital currency issued directly by the Reserve Bank of India. That's the vision behind India's Digital Rupee. But as exciting as it sounds, it also opens up a deeper question. Is this truly a financial revolution, or is it a gateway into unprecedented surveillance? Before you decide, let's break this down in the simplest, most honest way possible. When the RBI talks about a digital rupee, they don't mean something like Paytm, Google Pay or UPI. Those are just payment platforms. Your money still stays in a bank account. But a central bank digital currency or CBDC is not a balance stored in a bank. It is actual digital cash created, controlled and guaranteed by the central bank itself. In short, the same way a 500 rupee note is printed by RBI, a digital rupee will be minted electronically. No middlemen, no private banks involvement. This sounds powerful, and it is, because if India adopts digital cash at scale, payments can become faster, cheaper and almost impossible to counterfeit. Today, if you transfer money through UPI, your bank sits between you and the recipient. But with the digital rupee, the transaction can happen instantly, wallet to wallet, directly under the RBI system. There's no need to wait, no risk of servers crashing, no depending on private banking systems. And since it's legal tender, every merchant has to accept it. But wait, there's another side. Imagine every transaction you make being visible to the central authority. Not necessarily your identity in every case, but the trail would always exist. Digital currency doesn't behave like cash. When you hand physical money to someone, it's anonymous. No one knows where that note came from or where it went next. But digital rupee, every movement is recorded. The system knows when the money moved, where it moved, and possibly why it moved. And this is where the debate begins. Supporters say this transparency is good. It reduces tax evasion, stops corruption, and controls black money. Fraud becomes hard. Counterfeit currency becomes impossible. Financial crimes become easy to track. The government believes it will make India's economy more efficient and more traceable. That's the game changer, Pat. But critics argue that the same transparency could turn into surveillance. If every payment you make can be traced, does it mean the government could monitor your spending habits? Could it track what you buy, what you save, where you travel, what you subscribe to? Even if the system promises privacy, the question remains, who controls the data and what if that power is misused? Let's understand this with a simple example. Suppose you go to a doctor for a private medical issue. Today, if you pay the doctor in cash, that's the end of the story. But with digital rupee, that payment record exists. Or imagine you donate to a political group. With cash, that information stays with you. With CBDC, the transaction is recorded somewhere in a database. Even if encrypted, even if anonymized, the data exists. And anything that exists can be accessed. So yes, the digital rupee is incredibly efficient, but it is also incredibly traceable. The debate is not about technology, it's about trust. Now let's imagine the average daily user. Think of a vegetable seller. Today, he accepts cash or UPI, but if he gets paid through the digital rupee, his income is tracked automatically. It becomes difficult for small business owners to hide earnings, which means more transparency but also more scrutiny. For honest taxpayers, this might feel fair, but for many small cash-based businesses, this may feel like losing financial privacy. Now, people often confuse digital rupee with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. They're actually opposites. Bitcoin is decentralized. No single authority controls it. Digital rupee is fully centralized, controlled entirely by the RBI. Bitcoin's value fluctuates widely. Digital rupee's value is stable, just like regular INR. Bitcoin transactions are pseudo-anonymous. Digital rupee transactions are traceable. So anyone expecting crypto-like freedom from the digital rupee is misunderstanding the concept. There's another interesting angle: control. With a fully digital currency, a central bank could theoretically restrict how money is used. For example, imagine if stimulus money is given but programmed to expire in 30 days. People must spend it or lose it. Or imagine if certain transactions are disallowed, like buying tobacco or gambling online. This is called programmable money. Sounds efficient, but it can also be a powerful tool of control if misused. On the positive side, the digital rupee can massively reduce operational costs. Printing notes, transporting cash, maintaining ATMs, all of these costs run into thousands of crores every year. Digital currency eliminates these expenses. It also makes cross-border transfers faster and cheaper, something Indians abroad would love. And during emergencies like pandemics, money can be distributed instantly without physical contact. So what we are looking at is a tool, a powerful one. Just like a knife can be used to cook or to harm, a digital currency can empower or monitor. It all depends on how it's implemented. The truth is, India cannot avoid this transition. The world is moving towards CBDCs. More than 100 countries are experimenting. China is already testing the digital yuan. Europe is exploring the digital euro, and the US is studying the digital dollar. The real question is not whether the digital rupee is coming, it's how it will be used. Will it give citizens convenience, speed, and security? Or will it become a system where every transaction is logged, analyzed, and possibly judged? Will it reduce corruption, or will it create new forms of control? In the coming years, as the pilot programs expand, India will have to find a balance between efficiency and privacy, a balance between transparency and freedom, a balance between innovation and individual rights. And this balance will decide whether the digital rupee becomes a proud milestone in India's financial evolution or a step towards a monitored society. As of now, the digital rupee stands at a crossroads. One road leads to progress, economic speed, and financial modernization. The other leads to questions, doubts, and concerns about how much the state should know about your money. Which one it becomes depends on the policies, the safeguards, and the transparency the system promises. So, is India's digital rupee a game changer or a surveillance tool? The honest answer is it can be both. And the true impact will only be visible when the system goes mainstream and the rules around it become clear. Until then, it remains one of the most exciting and most controversial innovations in India's financial history.